Amalia, Virgin Islands.
Boy, you got my heart.
The official magazine of the Student Living Fund. Pick up your receipt at Dell Ashley, 1310 West 7th Road, Southwest, located in the Northwest City, 1,800 miles road. Bridge to 17,600 West 8 Mile Road. To get a subscription, 601-786-9788. The Southern State Magazine. Get your comic today.
SOS Graphic Design provides agency quality professional graphic design certified with a great company, creating colorful photos, complete rebranding, and delivering physical and SOS Graphic Design provides everything SOS professional graphic design. Respect your business apartment. We are at your service. Call 313-342-2166. That's 313-342-2166 or online at www.solsgraphicdesigns.com.
We would like to invite you to help support the efforts of the Unity and Rebuilding. Visit the website at www.unityandrebuilding.
Brother Jamar.
www.unity. I didn't know he said all of that. Hey, click on the link to track the progress of the Unity and Rebuilding. And for more information, 313-868-0000 is the local number. Again, 313-868-0000. You're watching. The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of W30BY, its affiliate, management, or sponsor. You're watching W33BY, Detroit, Highland Park, Michigan. Brothers and sisters, are in quite reasonably sure. Have you ever tested and went to feel no someone in the put you in your home? And let's talk to it. Scriptural discussion. So why don't you call and let's discuss the Holy Bible, and if you have one, the Holy Quran, and come to an agreement about the Holy Scriptures and their true meaning. So tune in to a scriptural discussion with the Son of Man every Sunday at 12 noon, right here on TV 33, FM 88.1 WHBR, and Comcast Cable. You can call in live on the air at area code 313-868-4336, 868-0342, and 868-0351. Of course, the area code is 313. That's 313-868-4336, 868-0342, and 868-0351. And now let's go live to the scriptural discussion with the Son of Man.
In the name of Allah, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, the Truthful, and the Most Just. I greet you all once again with the greeting words of peace. Those of you who hunger and thirst for righteousness, may Allah's salam alaikum. We want to first give those who have a disagreement with us. We want to give you the opportunity to present your disagreement. So if you are in the conference room, you can press *6 on your phone, and I will listen to your disagreement and your reasons for your disagreement. You know, that's the one thing that most people miss. You know, it's just like, you know, when I was a child, when they first tried to get me to go to school, the lady, I think her name was Miss Dolly. Miss Dolly dropped me off at school, and when she pulled off, I ran back out the gate and ran home. And because I didn't want to be in school, in kindergarten. You start at 5 years old. And so I hid out behind my mother's clothes, and my neighbor saw me over there and called my mother. And so I wound up having to go to school anyway. And but anyway, I didn't want to do something that my parents wanted me to do. And my parents won. Of course, I'm glad I went to school now. If you understand what I'm saying, how terrible would it have been for me to grow up in a world that everything requires literacy, and I'm illiterate? That would have been terrible. But like anything, I remember this song that let me see, I'll let you hear it. All this was from when I was in elementary school. And I think I might be able to find and bring it up and play it for you. It's a child's song, but it had a good lesson in it. And, we don't always like where our what where our parents put us. But they know better than we do. As there's no such thing as a 5-year-old having more sense than a grown person. You know, that just don't work. It don't work like that. And so here it is. Let me see here. I found it. It's just a little short song. But
Hello, mother. Hello, father. Camp is very entertaining. And they say we'll have some fun if it stops raining. I went hiking with Joe Spivey. He developed poison ivy. You remember Leonard Skinner? He got ptomaine poisoning last night after dinner. All the counselors hate the waiters and the late guys for dinners. And the head coach wants no sissies. So he reached to us from something called Ulysses. Now I don't want this should scare you, but my bunkmate has malaria. You remember Jeffrey Hardy? They're about to organize a searching party.
now you notice he don't want to be there, right? Yeah. And so he's saying all of these things to make him come get him, right? Yeah.
I hate Granada, don't leave me out in the forest where I might get eaten by a bear. Take me home, I promise I will not make noise or mess the house with other boys. Oh, please don't make me stay. I've been here one whole day. Dearest Father, darling mother, how's my precious little brother? Let me come home if you miss me. I wouldn't even let Aunt Bertha hug and kiss me. Just a minute, it stopped hailing. Guys are swimming, guys are sailing, playing baseball. Gee, that's better. Mother, father, kindly disregard this letter.
So the young man, like children will, not understand. Ain't no fun. They won't go. Then all of a sudden, circumstances changed, and now he disregard the letter. So, you know, it is that is the way a child's mind works, because a child makes decisions based on their emotions, based on feelings. Once you become an adult, you stop basing your decisions on your feelings, but you base them on knowledge. It's just like W.D. Muhammad. You remember I told you I've been to this rodeo before that Donald Trump is doing? You know, just like the Congress, all of them going along with his foolishness. That's the way the ministers and all them so-called staunch followers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the captains, lieutenants, and everybody, they was going along with Wallace's foolishness. All of them just pledged their allegiance to him and just let him trash the nation. He took down the flag. He did some of everything. And none of these Negroes that's around here calling me a damn hypocrite, none of them people was around when that happened. And now they done fell in love with people like Farrakhan and all these other folks, as though them people is some salvation givers or something. When them is the people who turned on the messenger. And you notice, none of them want to face me. Even the ones who write all of this garbage to me on the internet, they don't want to face me. Do you know what a hypocrite is? If you knew what a hypocrite was, you wouldn't be calling me a hypocrite. I'm not faking about nothing. I'm right out here in the open doing what I say I believe in. And you can't find nothing in the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings to condemn anything that I'm doing. But you know, I know what hypocrites look like. I know what sellouts look like. I know what traitors look like. I done seen them up close and personal. I'll show you an example. Man stand up and take an oath to uphold the Constitution. And the same man knows that the FBI director and everybody else took that same oath. Then why would he ask him, is he going to be loyal to him? He didn't mean it when he took the oath. And so, what? He don't feel nobody else, man. All hypocrites think everybody else is a hypocrite. First thing out their mouth, say everybody else doing it. That's the way children talk. Grown folks don't think like that. Grown folks don't follow crowds. I mean, let me show you something. Listen at this. This fella saying, his name is Shabazz 777. He gives a false, you know, that's generally the way you put the time and that kind of thing. But anyway, he's Shabazz 777 one day ago. He said, this is a damn joke. He's speaking, talking about me. He's looking at our Savior's Day. He said he's speaking to less people at my local gym. I guess he meant less people than comes to his local gym. And probably half are his family. Not half of them, all of them my family. Everybody that's a believer in me is my family. The rest of y'all got problems. Jesus described family. He said, whosoever do the will of my Father is my family. Now let me say this to you. The one thing that my true followers have in common with me is that they always made up their own mind about what they was going to do and didn't care how many people was doing something that they decided they weren't going to do. They just didn't do it. You know, my followers, people who ain't like that, you can't follow me. Because you more concerned about what somebody else is doing. I ain't never been concerned so much about what somebody else was doing. I'm only concerned about what I'm doing that I feel is right. If don't nobody else feel it, well, c'est la vie. But when it comes to myself, I've been like that all my life. I never was nobody who followed crowds. First, it was because my daddy wouldn't let me. But after I did get out there a while and saw what crowds were doing, I didn't want it no way. I was, I didn't realize what a blessing it was being raised by my parents. Because this world never had the kind of attraction for me that it seemed to have for other folks, for everybody else. People just try anything. I try anything once, not me. No, I won't try anything once. So, but you hear people say that all the time. Well, I keep an open mind. I don't. You got to knock on my door to get me to open up. I want to know who's knocking. You see, it ain't no open mind here. No, it's always somebody home. All you open-minded people out there, that's what's wrong with you now. When they say open house, boy, you should find anything in there, anybody at any time. If that real estate man ain't watching, he did the wrong thing, having an open house. Do you understand? So, and people at the trailer sales, they'll have open trailers, but you rest assured he's sitting in there looking out there. And you see you pull up, pretty soon you may walk in there, but soon you won't be in there by yourself. So it is amazing to me how people mirror their, it never ceases to amaze me. I'll put it like that. How much people mirror their sayings. You can find out a lot about a society or a civilization by the sayings that people have. You want to know why you fall for anything? Because you keep an open mind. A person that has an open mind is that's like having an open immune system, having an open having AIDS. You just open for any virus to come in. That's dangerous. Matter of fact, that's lethal. It's a saying that you don't hardly hear anymore. A person that don't stand for something will fall for anything. You see, what you stand for is what you shut the door on when people go past that. They try to get past that. You guys just no. Just far as you go with me. You understand? You got to have a door on your house. But when you ain't got no door, when anything goes, when America, when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was here, a lot of this stuff that you hear, Minister Farrakhan, you think Farrakhan would have been over there with L. Ron Hubbard if the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was here? You think Farrakhan would have been out there with a march, with some preachers preaching Christianity and preaching lies? Christianity is a lie. The very foundation of it is murder. The Bible ain't no Christian scripture. The Bible does not tell you that Jesus died for you. That's what you got out of what was said. It's like this person here that says, now her name is Ruth Keppert. She says, I bear witness to everything the Son of Man given in the way of wisdom. Remember that Son of Man said to me personally, blessed is he who carries within himself a God, an ideal, and who obeys it. I ain't never said that. What I look like telling you that there's more than one God? What you mean carry a God in you? I never said no such thing. Now you better quit being out there lying on me. I don't care how much you want to praise me. Don't be lying on me. No, I didn't say that. You may have gotten when I told you all that the mind is the Lord of your body. Now I told you that. But there ain't but one Lord. For the past 6,000 years, Jacob been the Lord. And I don't care where you at, the mind that's in you came from Jacob. But Jacob, he's not my Lord. I'm his. That's why the scripture said the Son of Man, the Lamb, is the Lord of Lords and King of Kings. Just as you notice that word Lord and King, it's interchangeable. Because the mind that is in you is sitting on the throne that you call your brain. Hence, King. Huh? But no matter what king you got sitting up there, he ain't no king over me. I'm the best knower. I'm the most high among you. And I don't mean the most high in getting drunk. So now if that wasn't so, don't you know all them people out there that hate me so much would be unmuting them phones and getting in here, call themselves arguing. You ain't got no argument against me. You don't know enough to argue against me. If you knew enough to argue against me, you'd be scared. Fools rush in as angels fear to tread. You see, those who had more sense than you, they would never have come in here talking crazy to me. You see, so so don't be listening at people telling you what I said. Now you see why I don't have no teachers. And I ain't never said that. Remember that Son of Man said to me personally. I ain't personally said nothing to you. How many of y'all can vouchsafe that me and you have talked personally about things that I ain't talked to nobody else about? If you being truthful, bring your witnesses to me saying that. As a lot of y'all done heard me teach. Do I do private teaching? No. Well, what do you mean I said to them personally? You've been listening to Farrakhan too much. Always coming up here with something about the messenger person that told him something he ain't told nobody else. Lying. Messengers of God don't hide the truth. And if he told Farrakhan something that he didn't tell nobody else, then he was hiding the truth from us. That don't work like that. Even when Master Farad Muhammad told the messenger that he was the Son of Man, he actually didn't tell the messenger that. The messenger told him that. And he told the messenger, he said, yes, but who knows that? And you be quiet. Don't say nothing. Don't tell nobody until after I'm gone. Huh? So he wasn't the one that the messenger was referring to when he said that he is called and is known as the Son of Man. I'm the one that's called and known as the Son of Man. You see? And if they really didn't think I was the Son of Man, what they scared of? Don't tell me you ain't scared. Oh, yeah, you scared. That's why you don't come in here. That's why you slip on the page and leave an insult and run. But I can get you from that too. Matter of fact, I just cast one in there when I heard how he spoke to me on there. That fella named Shabazz 777. You ain't never heard no. Let me tell you something. A Muslim, there's no such thing as an unjust Muslim. You know what's meant by that? If a Muslim accuses you of something, he won't just do it in writing when he can confront you. Huh? And he always will give you a chance to explain yourself. Huh? You know, I couldn't be the next ruler if I didn't have respect for the ruler who was already here. You see, that's where you learn whether or not you are the next ruler. What I mean by that? Now, you tell me what I meant by that. All you smart people out there. Let me put it like this. Those of you who think you know what I meant by that. How do you know that you're the next ruler with the ruler that's present? You can guess. I don't mind you guessing. You see, but that's the point. See all the questions I can ask, and all you can do is guess.
When you shut his mouth.
When you what?
Shut his mouth.
Well, sometimes when you
Muted.
who is that? Can you still hear me in both rooms?
Unmuted.
Okay. When sometimes you have things that's so ludicrous that the wise people choose to say nothing. So just shutting his mouth, is sometimes the wise thing to do is don't say nothing, because you're dealing with a foolish man. Do you understand? And if a wise man and a fool are arguing with each other, pretty soon the listeners won't be able to tell which one of them is which. You cannot win in a truthful argument with a fool. A fool don't have sense enough to know when he lost. So, no. But that's that is one way you can tell, but there's still, what about when you first start? They don't just shut their mouth at you.
Black man says he bears you witness.
No, No, before you can get people to bear you witness, that's of a, especially if they're a ruler. You remember the scripture says, no man having drank the old wine will straightway drink the new, because he think the old is better. You see? So people that's been ruling and being successful with one way of thinking don't necessarily want nothing new because they're successful with what they have. So how do you know that you're the next ruler?
When they ask you questions that you got an answer to every question they ask.
There's no such thing as a person having the answer to every question that people ask. If you put it like that, no such thing. Because there are so many subjects that you can be asked questions about that neither you nor that person know the answer to. But that
So
is
now when you understand how that ruler rules.
Well, other rulers understand. Everybody who's ruling with that ruler understands how they ruling. But when you are able to take what they have and do more with it than they were already doing with it, then that shows that your depth of wisdom, your depth of knowledge and understanding is deeper than theirs. And if they are smart, they will not even try to fight you because they've lost before they got started. Never pick a fight with somebody who has more sense than you. So, you see these people prove that every time they'll print something, and you'll hear me give a little response that just makes what they say look like nothing. It's these fools. There's another man said, igneous lahar. He says, isn't igneous a type of rock? Igneous lahar. You are not the son of man. You are a agent of the devil. Okay. Well, if I'm an agent of the devil, then why is it that you can't point out what of the devil's words that I'm using? I mean, that's strange. Certainly, if I'm of the devil, every time I open my mouth, some of the devil's teaching should be coming out. You see? Weak. It's almost not even worth addressing. But I address it because there are no big eyes and little U's in Islam. You see? So, now remember, I warned all of you all about getting out from behind me then. And I also warned you about losing faith. Without faith, it's impossible to follow me. Because you ain't never going to understand why I tell you to do a lot of things that I tell you to do. Until after you done did it. And you consistently do it. If you waiting to understand why you are told to do a thing, then you are not a faithful servant. You are not a faithful believer. And so, we don't want you nowhere. Why are you here if you don't trust me? That don't make no sense to me. If I hadn't trusted the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I would not have stayed there, because it was a lot of hypocrites that I knew were hypocrites. But he wasn't no hypocrite. And I said, if he can stand them, I can stand them. Because I ain't following them no way. I'm following him. And that's what I did. I trusted him. I didn't trust those ministers. I trusted the messenger. And then later on, I found out that he had told me that, of course, that was where I was anyway. When he said, if I have 1,000,000 ministers, he said, they are helping me, but I'm the only one that Allah will hold responsible for you not getting the truth. Meaning I'm the only one you can trust. That's what he was telling me. But he was already the only one I trusted. Because I saw the others, really, a lot of those ministers, they wasn't doing what they was teaching. I saw the big I and little U thing with them. And so I showed them respect. But as far as following them, I wasn't trying to be like them. No. The one that I was trying to follow and be like was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And that was. I even heard them say up there to me, you can't be like the messenger. I said, well, I can do the best I can. But fact of the matter is, him and me was like 2 arrows shot from the same bow. That's right. And those who said they was his followers, and then when they got tried, they followed someone who they knew had fought against him. W.D. Muhammad wasn't no secret. That's in Message to the Black Man. The messenger wrote about W.D. Muhammad. Him and Malcolm and his grandson Sharif. They turned on the messenger. Didn't believe he was the messenger. You see? So, all these people, they got all of this venom in them. What you think I'm expressing venom on Minister? I'm not expressing no venom on Minister Farrakhan. I'm telling you about history. You're the one full of venom and vitriol. You ain't got no cry against me justifiably, because I haven't told you nothing but the truth. I have the evidence right here. Here, man stood up, said all them high-sounding words about how he know the messenger is the messenger, and you ain't got no business not knowing he's the messenger. Next thing you know, he there talking about he don't believe he was the messenger no more. That's what he get for listening to hypocrites. That's what he get for thinking that the messenger was jealous of him. Now, why should the messenger be jealous of you and you can't be true to your word? The messenger never started doubting his teacher. The messenger never started saying his teacher wasn't what he thought he was. Huh? So what? Now you see why he don't come in here. He ain't gonna say nothing to me. He don't even mention me. I talk about all of them. They don't say nothing about me. Why? Let him be your fear and let him be your dread. They just, that whatever I say about them, they hope that's enough. They hope I stop. But they ain't going to say nothing. No. Because they know the messenger backed up, he backs up everything that I say. So do Jesus, Moses, David. I just will say the Holy Scriptures. Don't you know that judges? Why do you think it says that the Son of Man have power on earth to forgive sins? You might have these other people fooled. You ain't got me fooled. I know what you've been doing. I got your history. Remember, I've been here all of the time. This ain't no hearsay. Even made you carry the evidence and present it. Here's some of it right here. Let me show you. Like Trey Gowdy. Hey, let me show you something. Now, he's still running around here talking about they wanted to investigate or have some oversight over the FBI. What does he look like? Do you know who brings? Where does the the PDA come? The president's PDB, the president's daily briefing. Who brings that? The intelligence community brings it. How could, do you know Trey Gowdy and all of them? They don't have the security clearance that the FBI has. Certain things is for the president's eyes only. But the FBI's eyes done seen it already. Now he gonna investigate the FBI. With what? I told you, you know, stupidity is a terrible thing. Especially when you get up high and everybody can see you and then they see how stupid you are. I'm sorry. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. But I told you to leave the FBI alone. You ain't got no business over there. Call yourself trying to undermine them people who know more about what's going on in this country even than the president. He didn't know that they was watching them Russians that was called themselves hiding and doing stuff they ain't had no business. You know, Trey Gowdy leaving Congress too. It's a whole lot of them crooks up there. You better get your behind on out of there. And don't you ever run for office over in this country ever again. You stay in the private sycophant sector. So, you know, that's why they think I'm an agent, you see. An agent for what? I'm an agent for justice. I know one thing. Muslims are not people who sit back and got all kind of secretly trying to tear up other people's house. You don't need darkness to do what you think is right. Huh? The only reason we don't tell you a lot of things is because you can't take it. If the FBI told you everything that they knew, you'd probably lose your mind. If you really knew what was going on that they was protecting you from. Bunch of stupid people. So anyway, yes. What?
Zippy store in Fayette is tonight is going to be the last night. It's open all night. The store's going to start closing at 10 o'clock during the week and 12 o'clock on the weekend. That was important because people, come through there and they'll open.
Okay, you all remember Zip is this the last week that they're gonna be open all night. This the last night that Zip is gonna be open all night. So y'all better enjoy it while it lasts. They're not gonna stay open all night no more. Okay. Now, I want you to remember that this country didn't come into existence by accident. Allah had plans for this country. Abraham's seed had to be a stranger over here for 400 years and be afflicted here. And then he told you that you're not going to judge them. He will judge them. He said, and also that nation whom they shall serve, will I judge. And he judged it good for me to judge them. He said, the Father judgeth no man, but hath committed all judgment unto who? That all men should honor the Son, even as they honor the Father. You see how white folks respect me? I'm their judge. They better show some respect. Because I can pardon and I can cast into hell. And you would do well to follow their example. So, you notice I'm not hiding and saying this. So, use your head, man. Well, you think just I could just stand up here and talk like this and be making it up? How many of y'all saw Lost in Space? You remember when the little boy grew up and at the end the doctors thought he was going to do something to him? He said, you think I survived out here by myself? Huh? He saw the doctor saw his own self was the one who was protecting the little boy. Huh? Yeah. So you don't want to make the mistake of thinking that I'm by myself. I ain't never by myself. You think I could have did all of these things with the little resources that you gave me if I was by myself? Allah helps me. No. People start doing things to everybody who ever tried to do anything to harm me. Sometimes Allah just let them die. But other times he let them fall sick and let them see what happens to people who don't have sense enough to show respect. They get the message. You know? So I'm not here to bully you, but I'm not here to be bullied by you either. If you don't like me, just go on about your business. Leave me alone. You can repent from that. But when you attack me, whosoever fall on that stone shall be crushed. That's what the book says. And if you make me angry enough to attack you, and when I attack, it's with words. I'm the last one you want to be angry with you. You just think you can stand it. No, you can't stand me being angry with you. Because if I'm angry with you, Allah is angry with you, and the universe is against you. So just go on about your business. Leave me alone, and I'll leave you alone. But if you fight me, I will fight you. And so, brother asked him a question that said I was an agent of the devil. He said, why don't you come in and pull the cover off of it? Call in and confront the Son of Man. Certainly you're not afraid of somebody that you think is an agent. You need to come in and tell him that to his face. He will be on the air tonight at 8 p.m. Central. Here are the call-in numbers. Please send me your bio so that we can properly introduce you to the audience. They don't get no better than I do it. How many people on Fox News or somewhere invite people who disagree with them to come on and say what they have to say? Huh? You don't get that from nowhere but me. When they have call-in shows, that's all it is a show. If you don't believe it, watch what happens when the people call in. Most of them, the host will say, okay, hurry up now. They just got that. And they said, well, we got other people that we trying to get. And everybody that get on there, they rush them off. You know, I mean, what kind of substantive conversation can you have with somebody in a half hour or an hour? You can't have no substantive conversation in no half hour or hour. It takes time to explain and to give proofs and to take objections. You notice people go to court. That's generally an all-day affair when they put on a hearing for somebody. Why? Because they want to give them a fair and just hearing. And before they don't be sitting up there, the judge ain't sitting there with a watch on, telling the witness, now you're going to have to hurry up and get over here so they can get the other witnesses up here. That's not how they go. No, you may have. Look at how long Mr. Mueller held some of them people in there. The questioners of the FBI held some of those people in there for all day, 8 hours, questioning them. I mean, if you're trying to get at the truth, that takes time. Now, let's see here. Let me put this one back and bring up this one. Now, this is from 1972, October the 1st, where Minister Farrakhan was speaking for the messenger. Speaking, they introduced him.
If you lose one, you lose them both. So therefore, I take up no more of your time and to pray you. The national representative of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He is also the minister of Muhammad, Trouble number 7, media of in the name of Allah, the King and the person of Master Muhammad, the one God from whom all praise is due, the Lord of the world. We thank Almighty God, Allah, for blessing us with our beloved leader and teacher, the messenger of Allah, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Brother Minister Yusuf Shah, Brother Minister, brothers and sisters, I'm very thankful and honored for this opportunity just to say a few words to you in advance of the arrival of our beloved leader and teacher, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. You know, there's a saying in the Bible, cast your bread upon the water, and after many days, you will see it coming back to you. You know, when a man casts his bread upon the water, he must of necessity be a patient man to wait until that bread comes back to him. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad 31 years ago cast bread upon the water. 49 years ago, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was commissioned by Allah to raise the black men and women of America up from the grave of ignorance and from a sleep in mental death. 49 years ago, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was given the hardest job ever given to a man in the history of men. The job of reforming the black man, cleaning the black man up, uniting the black man, bringing the black man face to face with God, and molding the black man once again into an independent nation. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad started off 40 years ago with no help but the help of Allah, and of course, Allah's help is sufficient. But with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's tenacity of purpose, his unshakable will, his great love for you and me, he set out to reform us, he set out to restore us, he set out to redeem us. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad cast his bread upon the water. Elijah Muhammad, like the messengers of God before him, is unlettered according to the standards of education of this world. But as my beloved brother minister said, he's a God-trained, God-taught man. But in a world of disbelief, in a world where men have not known God, in a world where men have disrespected God, they couldn't see how God could have taught a man from among us, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But these same people who disbelieve that Elijah Muhammad had met with God, believe that God had raised up Noah. They believe that God had raised up Lot. They believe that God had raised up Moses. They believe that God had sent Jesus into the world. And they believe that Almighty God, Allah, had raised up Muhammad. And I say to you, if God is powerful enough to send these unlearned men of the past to do a super task of reforming and reclaiming and redeeming a nation, and that God all of a sudden lost his power when it comes to the black man. If Almighty God allowed to do it yesterday, he can also do it today. And if God can't send you and me a man, and Allah knows that we need somebody. If Allah cannot send us someone today, and he never sent a man yesterday, you're not justified in believing in Moses, or he didn't see Moses, he didn't see him much. we're not justified in believing in Jesus. That we didn't see Jesus when he opened the eyes of the blind and made the deaf hear and the lame walk. We're not justified in believing in what the Lord. That he live in the midst of a man. A man who you see opening blind black men down. A man who you see making deaf black men hear. A man who you see making dumb black men speak. A man who you see reforming programs, making prostitutes to stop selling their flesh. A man who you see uniting the people that you said could never be united. If you could believe in those prophets that you never saw, how come you didn't believe in a man that's working?
If you can believe in those prophets whom you never saw, how come you disbelieve in a man that's working in your midst while you see? Whose words was them?
Can call me. And he said, when are you coming this way? I said, gee, I'll be there in September. I'm coming out that way. He said, well, I'll come and meet you. And right after Labor Day, I went to Los Angeles. And Jabril didn't have any money. He borrowed some money to get there. I think he had a dime in his pocket and had on some shoes that was too big for his feet. But he got there, and he had a book in a paper bag. And we met in Hollywood at the hotel where I was staying. And he asked me about Master Farad Muhammad. I said, well, I love him very much, but I don't believe he's God.
You notice he didn't tell you what he was doing in Hollywood at the hotel, did he? He was back into entertaining. Went back into the world. While I was struggling and keeping the faith, he back into entertaining. But just wait a minute. Now, see, this is for all of these people who think that just because they just not seeing me, that I just not got here. No, I didn't just get here. I know where Minister Farrakhan was, and I see how far he has fallen. And why do you think none of the ministers or none of the people who was in the nation, how come they don't come and argue with me and say what this brother is saying ain't true? How come they don't say that? Because they know every word that I'm speaking is the truth. And now here come you, Johnny come lately, 30 or 40 years old, 50 years old. You wasn't even in the nation. What you know about it? Don't know nothing. I can wait on you to die. I don't have to do nothing with you. I got time. Do you? Let's just listen to this.
And he asked me about the Master Farad Muhammad. I said, well, I love him very much, but And he asked me about Master Farad Muhammad. I said, well, I love him very much, but I don't believe he's God. And he asked me about the Master.
Well, if you don't believe he's God, then you believe the messenger was lying. Huh? He didn't say that while the messenger was here. Listen.
And then I said, I don't believe he's God. And he asked me about the messenger, and I said, I love this him very, very much, but I don't see him now as the messenger. I see Prophet Muhammad as the messenger.
So if he didn't see the messenger as the messenger, then what did he see him as? A liar? But wait a minute. Let me see. His own words were, just listen.
I say to you as God, is powerful enough to send these unlearned men of the past to be a stupid path of reforming and reclaiming and redeeming a nation. And that God all of a sudden lost his power when it comes to the black man and the black woman. If Almighty God allowed to do it yesterday, he can also do it today. And if God can't send you and me a man, and Allah knows that we need somebody. If Allah cannot send us someone today, and he never sent a man yesterday, we're not justified in believing in Moses, but we didn't see Moses. We didn't see him work. We're not justified in...
Did he see Prophet Muhammad work? He just said he's not justified in believing in Moses or any of them that we didn't see. But then all of a sudden he see Prophet Muhammad as the messenger, but not the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Oh, I'm gonna fix every one of you that threw these people up in my face, and I'm gonna fix you. Matter of fact, I want to start fixing you tonight. Now it's gonna start with you not being able to sleep good, and go too long without sleep, your mind get kind of addled. I'm gonna fix you.
Believing in Jesus, but we didn't see Jesus when he opened the eyes of the blind and made the deaf hear and the lame walk. We're not justified in believing in Lot and Noah, that here you live in the midst of a mist. A man who you see opening blind black men die. A man who you see making deaf black men hear. A man who you see making dumb black men speak. A man who you see reforming drug addicts. Making prostitutes to stop selling their flesh. A man who you see uniting the people that you said could never be united. If you could believe in those prophets that you never saw, how come you didn't believe in a man that's working?
That's the question we want to ask him. Huh? And now I want to come back pretending that you believe. If you believed in the messenger, then he said ain't nobody coming behind him but God. Didn't he?
Yes, sir.
Do you suppose God would have denied the messenger?
No, sir.
Do you suppose God would have went back to entertaining people?
No, sir.
Or would he have kept the faith?
Yes, sir.
The book does say the Lord is faithful. How in the world are you going to teach other people to have faith when you didn't have none? And how can you demand other people to be faithful when you are not? That's a mighty good question, ain't it?
Yes, sir.
So, So you see, I know a whole lot more about Minister Farrakhan than you ever dreamed of. And the only way he going to be saved is he going to have to beg my pardon and get forgiveness. And as far as him being able to save you, that ain't nothing but a pipe dream. How in the world a man that can't save himself going to save you? How's a man that couldn't be faithful his own self, how's he going to teach you how to be faithful? Who had to come get me up out the grave again? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad got me up. Did I go back to it? Even when everybody else was following WD or just going back to church or going back to what they were doing, I didn't. I don't start things and say I believe something that I don't believe in finishing and that I don't believe in. If I didn't believe in it, I wouldn't have said I believed in it. And I'm not ungrateful. First time I ever fasted in my life was when I heard the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I went on a 3-day fast, and I felt so good and renewed that, I mean, how in the world is this not God's messenger? And get any Negro to miss a meal. Throw down your alcohol. Put your cigarettes in the garbage. With just his word. Just wanting to please him. Because pleasing him, I wind up being more pleased with myself. I mean, even right now, living like I'm living with you and whatnot and being afflicted. Yet, I don't feel like I'm almost 70 years old. Especially when I look at other people that's that age. And how they get around as opposed to how I get around. I can still work. Might not work as fast. But I can still work. I ain't got no arthritis. I ain't all burdened down with a bunch of diseases. I got nothing but praise to give to Allah. And thanks for his messenger. So you know, it's just like when people call Minister Farrakhan the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. He used to say, don't be calling him honorable. He said, that title belongs to my teacher. That's what he said. Just for show. It's like if you recall when people, you know, like your little sister, Miss, what's her name? Miss Ramsey used to refer to me as the honorable son. I said, just call me son of man. You know, just, you know, I'm son of man. Ain't nothing to do honorable son of man and all that. Just call me son of man. That's the title the scripture gave me. And I'm pleased with that. All that other fluff ain't no need to. Just say son of man, and I'm satisfied. You understand? And if you don't want to say that, well, bye. I noticed. I don't know what you're so upset about. Y'all never called Jesus Son of Man. Y'all ain't never called Jesus Son of Man. You say, that's Jesus, that's Jesus. But well, if it was Jesus, how come I never heard you call him that? You hypocrites. Jesus, the one prophesied of the coming of the Son of Man. So, I tell you what, keep on thinking everything is a joke. Keep thinking that the word of God is some fairy tale. Just remember, Elijah been here. The book says, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. You heard the Honorable Elijah Muhammad give you a prophecy, and you didn't even pay that no attention. Where he said that the other trumpet that is coming, it don't come through man's voice, but it passes through a mechanical instrument. He said, that's the trumpet that I'm warning you of. He said, they are linking it up now. This was before you ever even heard the term link as far as the internet go. But he knew. And he said, they are linking it up now. Huh? So don't say that Elijah ain't been here. And you know what he told you. The book says, before the coming of the Sabbath day, the great and dreadful day of the Lord. The great day is the Sabbath day. You notice, it's going to be 12 o'clock in about 2 hours and 35 minutes. It's going to be 12 midnight. And 1 second after that, it's going to be Thursday. But it's still going to be dark. But it's already a new day. But the day ain't appeared yet. Before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. And the light he called day. Huh? Well, the spirit of the one that the mind of the Son of Man is now moving across the face of the scriptures and across the knowledge of the world. And I'm saying, let there be light. Let there be day. And before this day came, Elijah came. Who don't understand that? All right. Keep thinking it's a fairy tale. Just keep on thinking that. You know, got nerve enough to have wind in their jaws because I'm introducing myself. Well, ain't you something? Oh, when he calls me, I will answer. That made a song about that. Yeah. You see? It's like people ask you, where you going on Wednesday and Friday? Sometimes you be in Sunday, Saturday. Sometimes you be getting ready to quit working and listen to me. They won't know where you're going. Yeah, they got a song for that. If anybody asks you where I'm going, tell them I'm going up yonder to be with my Lord. Going up yonder. What do you mean going up yonder? Whenever you go into the scriptures, you going up yonder because it's over your head. And then you going up yonder to be with the Son of Man, to meet him in the air. We on the air right now. And see, it's no joke, no fairy tale. It's real. Yeah. I mean, he's sitting up there. I mean, just I'm gonna let him talk some more.
Not only is some of Messenger Muhammad's followers from New York City, there's some very wonderful professional men and women of that city. Men and women that we would hope would lend their support to the honor of Elijah Muhammad in bringing the black man up from the modern civilization. But there's a characteristic that usually goes with us with learning possessed from our enemy. It is written in the Holy Quran that the devil would not submit because he said he thought that he was better. And somehow or another, in the white man's educational system, that calls and seeps into his.
Remember, he said that he began to foolishly think, is my teacher jealous of me? Well, if he thought his teacher was jealous of him, then he thought he was better. Better to guide, better to lead. Huh?
Yes.
I mean, it's no way you think someone who is jealous of you is greater than you. Is that right? Oh, no. I'm not going to let you get away with it. I'm going to make you hear it. Because you tries to pretend you don't know what was said. But yeah, you know what was said. Let me see here. Here it is. Just give me a minute. You know, I'm the kind of person that, you know, I have to have. Allah has made me to have a good memory. You see, you cannot make judgments about what you cannot remember. Huh? And so I'm here. I have to remember what people said. And as it's written, it says, this is our record that speaks against you with truth. Surely we wrote, or in other words, we recorded what you did. Let's see here.
Seek refuge in Allah from the envy when the messenger looked like child's play. And everybody was focusing on me. And I was catching hold from one end of this country to another, but I never paid no attention. When people spoke evil to me, I still was the good that I would do. And the messenger said to me one day, he said, brother, whether they speak awkward things about you, brother, but something like myself, you don't pay no attention to it, you keep on doing good. Finally, I begin to break.
Now, before I let that play, see, he plays that, he says that after he had said he thought the messenger was jealous of him. You see, now, I'm not a person who can't read. I can read what you didn't say. You see, now I'm going to let you hear what he said before all of that.
There wasn't a city I went into that I didn't hear what my brothers were saying against me, about me, while I was 18 hours a day for the cause of Islam and denied my life and my children a father for a cause that I believe in. So Malcolm Benjamin did become, but here's where Brother Farrakhan made a mistake. I succumbed to a feast, and I too began to foolishly say, and wonder, is my teacher jealous of me? Why are you saying this, Farrakhan? If a confession is good for the soul. But you see, when you tell the truth, you help somebody else to see truth, even if the truth is against yourself. I love my leader and teacher, but I had a weak thought that came because my leader was so seeing. He looked at me one day at the table when everybody was praising Farrakhan. He hit the table and said, yes, he's very well known, all right. So that when he turns hypocrite on me, the whole world will see him. But you see, when you tell the truth, you help somebody else to see truth, even if the truth is against yourself. I love my leader and teacher, but I had a weak thought that came because my leader was so seeing. He looked at me one day at the table when everybody was praising Farrakhan. He hit the table and said, yes, he's very well known, all right. So that when he turns hypocrite on me, the whole world will see him. Hit me like a, what is this? What did he say this for?
When the messenger said that, that's when he was thinking he just jealous because they ain't praising him. Huh? Now he's mad. See, he been all of the time, just like this person tonight. That's why I had to correct her. Ruth Keppert. Don't attribute things that you say to me. Don't say I said it, because I didn't say that. That's what Farrakhan was doing to the messenger. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that so and so and such and so. This means such and so. The messenger didn't teach him no such thing. That was him talking and putting the messenger's name on it. Because he actually, Farrakhan, when he'd be explaining scriptures, he really thought he was opening up scriptures to people. And because the messenger didn't do that, he thought that he was better guided than the messenger. And so the messenger knew what he wanted. He let him go ahead. Just go ahead, brother. And he went on. And, because the messenger had already seen that he was thinking like he was thinking. And that's why the messenger didn't say so that if he turns hypocrite, he said, when he turns hypocrite on me, the whole world will see him. See, the dangerous thing about fruit, it is perishable. The best apple, you let it sit long enough in the sun, you let it sit, it will over-ripen and become unfit to consume. Do you understand? You see, so, you should never try to take the Lord's place. If you believe the scriptures, how could you think that you could take the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's place when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he was sent to prepare the way for the Lord? Not you. but the mockers of God. Whenever you see a man standing up, like I'm doing now, call himself teaching the word of God, he is mocking God. Especially now that Elijah have been here. You're not supposed to be listening to nobody but the Lord himself now. If I'm not that one, you better quit listening to me. Ain't no preacher come after Elijah. The Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout and with the voice of the archangel, with the words of the angels of the ark, the covenant. So you who's standing up in my place before my people, misleading them, your life ain't gonna be so good after tonight. Sit down and be quiet. And you tell the people you're not the Lord and that you ain't got no business standing up before them, call yourself explaining the Lord's words. Do that or suffer the consequences. Amen and amen. Well, now, these words of his, you will see that, watch what he say the messenger said to him, but he didn't pay the messenger no attention because he was already mad at the messenger. Watch this. Now, listen to it and you will see what I see. You couldn't put it together, but I can. I put it together for you. As the book says, desire the milk of the word. You see? You know, I extract it out and now I'm giving it to you. Well, all you have to do is take it in and swallow it. You ain't got to try to chew it. It's milk to you now. Do you understand?
And I too began to foolishly say, and wonder, is my teacher jealous of me?
Now, this is how you reason that out. Okay, he says, I too began to foolishly think, is my teacher jealous of me? Then he tells it. Because we was all sitting around the table one day and everybody was praising Farrakhan, talking about himself. Everybody was praising me. That's what he said. And the messenger hit the table and said, yes, he's very well known, all right. So that when he turns hypocrite on me, the whole world will see him. He said, hit me like a ton of bricks. In other words, he didn't say it, but you know, and that's when he started thinking, he's jealous of me. He began to foolishly think that his teacher, not is my teacher jealous of me. He didn't even tell the truth about that. In his mind, he thought the messenger was jealous because they was praising him instead of himself, the messenger. That's how little he understood the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad never was interested in the praise that you gave him. He was only interested in doing what Allah missioned him to do. That's why he told you, he said, I don't want you to love and worship me up. He said, that's not what I'm trying. I'm trying to get you to love and worship him whom I preach to you. Huh? He said, don't tell me, Elijah, you are Master Farad Muhammad, or that you. They said, no, Master Farad Muhammad is the one that I'm representing to you. That's what he told him. You see? But Farrakhan, he liked the idea, like Malcolm, he liked the idea of being the leader of the Nation of Islam. When they start calling him, we have the leader of the Nation of Islam here, he liked that. And he said, no, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is the leader. But they saw what he was what you call susceptible to. Praise is a terrible thing as far as being able to. Where'd you take him?
He's from my mom.
Huh?
She left from my mom.
Okay. Praise is a terrible thing because it has destroyed many people. Flattery. I mean, it's one thing to compliment a person. It's another thing to heap compliments on people. Whenever people heaping compliments on you, most of it is insincere. And if you tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about, I can go deeper. I can prove what I say. I know how to, I know sincerity, and I know, most people that give you a compliment, oh, that's nice. That's really good. Anything more than that, it's just flattery, because it don't take all that. I mean, it's like people. I mean, what? How you gonna get real excited over a bakery and a tailor shop and whatever we build? Have you looked around you at all of the beautiful buildings that white people done put up? So what? You think I think that stuff that's just a small beginning of us making ourselves the equals of other people who are already equal with each other. We have yet to establish our equality. And you're sure not going to establish it by getting excited over 2 or 3 buildings. You ain't building now city. This man got cities all over the world. So I'm not living in a dream world. Anyway, as you look at this, now just listen now.
Why are you saying this, Farrakhan? They say confession is good for the soul. But you see, when you tell the truth, you help somebody else to see truth.
See, now he's about to tell you why he thought the messenger was jealous of him. Do you understand? Okay, now listen.
Even if the truth is against yourself. I love my leader and teacher, but I had a weak thought that came because my leader was so seeing. He looked at me one day at the table when everybody was praising Farrakhan. He hit the table and said, yes, he's very well known, all right. So that when he turns hypocrite on me, the whole world will see him. Hit me like a...
Now that's when he got angry. But he didn't show it. At least not to everybody else. The messenger knew he was upset and angry. And so then that thought of his about the messenger being jealous of him, that thought is what made it very easy for him to later on say, I You know, he had to say he loved him. You know, I mean, you know, he wasn't going to tell the truth about how he felt. I love him, but I don't see him as the messenger. I see Prophet Muhammad as the messenger. Well, why he see Prophet Muhammad as the messenger? Because he never got past that, thinking that the messenger was jealous of him, which meant that he stopped believing that he was the messenger of Allah. You see? So he was happy to help WD teach that the messenger was a social reformer. And they stopped calling him a messenger. Do you understand? And so, you know, I saw these things, but I wasn't able to put it together back then like I can put it together now. The judgment is going on now. So now watch this. Now, this next clip going to prove to you what I'm saying, that, you know, watch what happens when the messenger speaks to him, trying to console him. Watch this.
What did he say this for? But he saw way down the line, even as Jesus saw Peter's wife. He knew I was going to deny it. He saw it. And he prayed for me. And he told me that I would return.
See? Now, if Minister Abdul Kareem had not been there, I wouldn't have, you know, because I was always skeptical about that. Because you're not allowed to offer prayers for a hypocrite. And so the Minister Kareem said, no, the messenger didn't say he prayed for him to return. The messenger said he prayed that he would not turn, you know. But, you know, and I know that's true, because watch what the messenger says to him to try to get him not to turn. But he had already turned.
Only because his prayers were found worthy in the sight of Allah. I'm finished now. Up for 2 months before he left us, around the table were all of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's major ministers. And it was brought up because Elijah Muhammad said, and it was well known in the nation, that one would lie that would make Malcolm's opposition to the messenger look like child's play. And everybody was so.
You know why Malcolm's opposition compared to his looked like child's play? Because Malcolm did not keep on trying to hide under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's name and work against him. Here, this man still calling himself the national representative of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, going in there praising preachers and telling them that they teaching good. Malcolm never did that. When Malcolm disagreed with the messenger, he was a man about it at least. He said, no, I don't believe that anymore. Huh? And he left. Farrakhan still pretending to believe in the messenger's teachings while contradicting all of it. So that when he turns hypocrite, I mean, he finally confessed to who the messenger was talking about, really. The messenger said one was rising that would make Malcolm's opposition look like child's play. And he was the one rising. And he was gradually rising up. First, what started his rise? The messenger jealous of me. In his heart, there was a disease. Now, listen. Look, this is not a vacuum. If some of you think that I'm twisting this or whatnot, come in and you explain to me what these things is. I'll play it back and then you explain it.
On me. And I was catching hell from one end of this country to another, but I never paid no attention. When people spoke evil of me, I did what the good that I would do. messenger said to me one day, he said, brother, whether they speak awful things about you, brother, but you something like myself. You don't pay no attention to it, you keep on doing good.
Now, how do you think he took that? He was still stinging. Huh, coming up me saying that to me now, after what you said at that table? Huh? Of course, he didn't voice it. But right after that, watch what he said. After the messenger right after the messenger compliments him, then he, instead of continuing, why did he change? Because he felt like that was a slap in the face from the messenger after what he said at the table when they was praising Farrakhan. Huh? And the messenger said, well, he said, brother, they say awful things about you, brother, but you something like myself. You don't pay no attention to it. You keep right on doing good. You would have thought that would have encouraged him. Don't pay him no attention, huh? But watch. See, he ignored the messenger. He ignored any advice that the messenger had to give him after he thought the messenger was jealous. Huh? If you think somebody jealous of you, you don't think they have your best interest at heart. Is that right? Anything that they tell you from that point on is suspect as far as you're concerned. Is that right? Just listen. That's the one thing about us human beings. We know that we are all basically alike. You know yourself. So you know how you think when if you think someone is jealous of you or whatnot, then you don't hardly pay too much attention to what they have to say about giving you advice. Is that right? Because their advice to you is always suspect. And so after he thought the messenger was jealous of him, it didn't do him no good for the messenger to say what he said to him. Even when the messenger told him and complimented him, brother, you something like myself. You listen to the words. But he already thought the messenger was jealous.
Worthy in the sight of Allah. I'm finished now. For 2 months before we left them, around the table were all of the honorable Elijah Muhammad's major ministers. And it was brought up because Elijah Muhammad said, and it was well known in the nation, that one was alive that would make Malcolm's opposition to the messenger look like child's play. And everybody was focusing on me. And I was catching hell from one end of this country to another, but I never paid no attention. When people spoke evil of me, I doubled the good that I would do. And the messenger said to me one day, he said, brother, they speak awful things about you, brother, but you something like myself. You don't pay no attention to it, you keep on doing good. Finally, I began to break. And I decided I would come to Chicago and gather all of the national laborers around and have it out. You see the Muhammad State newspaper?
Now, tell me something. If all of the major ministers were sitting around the table and they was praising him, listen, now he said that, right? Yes. Who hit the table? Who was the only one that had something negative to say? And who did he think was jealous of him? Now, so when he got ready to have it out, like he said, listen now.
Was doing great things for the nation. The New York Times was reported, the Chicago Tribune was reported, but the paper, his own paper, his national newspaper, wouldn't have nothing to say about it. I began to see the same pattern develop with me. I said, man, what is this? And you can see how seed is developing. So now I get ready to fight at the messenger table. And let us forget all the national labels around and bringing it up about envy and jealousy and how it destroys from within. And messenger knew that I was getting ready to get into, he hit the table with his hand. Boom! He said, brother, seek refuge in Allah from the envy. When he envied, and he got out and he walked out of the room. Threw my whole thing.
See? He didn't know what the messenger meant by that. He was the one that was envious. Farrakhan envied the messenger and thought he belonged in the messenger's place. And the messenger said, brother, when he came back, he told him, he said, if you're looking for a board to uphold the corner of the building, to uphold the weight of the building, you get one that won't break when you put there. And if it cracks or breaks or whatnot, you know it's not the board you was looking for, and you throw it away and you get another. Do you understand? I remember once the messenger taught on that same thing. He said, if you got a stone that you want to put other stones on, you get one that won't crack when you put from the weight of the other stones that you put on it. Get one that won't crack when you put weight on it. It's just like the brother said, the messenger said, I cracked Farrakhan. Well, that's just to let you understand that when he's not the one to uphold the weight of building a nation. Man couldn't even build his own self up. How's he going to build you up if he can't hold himself up? You know, Allah wants someone that have a little strength, as he said, because thou hast a little strength, I will keep thee in the day of temptation. That's what he said, which shall come upon all them that dwell on the earth. So Allah, he said he would keep me. That means he's right there. That's why they said the Lord himself, God in person. That's is what they refer to me as. Know ye that the Lord, he is God. That's what he said. Son of man, take that book, eat it up. Go and speak with my words. Yes. You see? So I stand up and I say, I, Allah, am the best knower. Well, that is what I was told to do. Eat it and speak with it. You know, those are my, if this was a Hollywood, it would be a script, not a scripture. And that would be my lines. I, Allah, am the best knower. Do you understand? Yeah. He says, so this is the day of judgment. Everybody must answer now. Everybody who is been out here, whatever you've been thinking about the word of God, you are finding out that you wasn't even close. Huh? You would have never unlocked these books if I hadn't came and unlocked it for you. I'm giving you this knowledge. You didn't get it on your own. I'm giving it to you. It is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. That's what's written. To give you the knowledge. So he no, he wasn't ready to fight. He was ready to drop some lugs. Because the one that he was talking to wanted to talk about jealousy and whatnot. He had already told you who he thought was jealous of him. So if he was going to teach on envy and jealousy, who was he calling himself going to teach? He going to lecture the messenger. Huh? Pretending to be talking to the ministers. Do you understand how people can talk at somebody else while really talking to the other person on the slide. Is that right? The messenger knew what he is up to. Oh, just like I know what all these boys is up to coming in here trying to invoke him and call themselves mad at me. Mad at me for what? Because you following a man who won't defend himself and won't defend what he teaching? The messenger said, if the God of truth and justice will not defend our truth, and the author of wickedness and liars are going to triumph over the truth, it had been better then that we believed in lying if the liar going to triumph over the truth. But he comes out himself to be the champion and lead the righteous to victory. So you see, I'm out here myself. That's right. Now, how many of y'all bold enough to come in here and put forth arguments against me? You had a lot of them when the messenger wasn't here no more. You standing up saying all kind of things. I notice ain't none of you telling me he lied. As he told you, just remember, when you say Elijah has lied, you are saying God has lied. I mean, the man told you he didn't believe that Allah, that Master Farad Muhammad was God. He didn't believe that Master Farad Muhammad was the one that the truth was with. He didn't believe that. See, he never knew what God is. He never knew the understanding of God because he would not wait on me. You would have never thought that Master Farad Muhammad was not God once the true understanding of who God is had been taught to you. The book tell you, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with who? Was with God. Sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is what? The truth was with who? Was with God, was with Master Farad Muhammad. This is no joke. Now, if you want to keep on believing in spookism, you go ahead and believe in spookism. And pay the price for it, which is the loss of your life. Now, I ain't forgot about what's going on. I'm gonna go back to that now. Everybody need to see these things and know these things. So let me put this up.
Which again goes to this just like terrifying weather vane thing here, as we'll have sort of a North American free trade agreement. But I will say that congratulations, you reinvented it. As a Canadian, I'll tell you, I've never heard such tough talk from Canadians about America in my life. Pierre,
well, it's fascinating how often we're having now like diplomatic rows with Canada.
Right. Or the EU, right? Who does that? But ultimately, Canada. Yes, by the way, we should say the largest exporter of steel in the U.S. is aluminum. Yeah, and energy. Yeah. That's the important part. You can't. And by the way, electricity. If you're in the northeast of America, you're on the same grid. And water to a lot of America. This is just a bad fight. Picking a fight with South Korea on trade. It's a bad fight right now because we kind of need South Korea. There is a correlation between those you trade with and those you don't fight with. And the president doesn't seem to have any regard for that. There's also this question of like congressional Republicans, are making noises that they're going to stand up to him on this or
not. And they could, right? I mean, this is something that Congress has statutory authority.
Yes, they sort of gave the president could give, right, but they could, back, yeah.
But they could take it back, and it kind of I think shows like how completely, God, I'm trying to think of a better word than gelded they've become in deep.
No, they done forgot what's really going on. So let me refresh your memory. I'll show you what's going on. Here it is right here. Just a moment. Let me pause it. Now, this what's going on.
The nation's debt using some combination of cutting spending and raising taxes. The person at the heart of those negotiations, and some would say the person responsible for the deadlock, is neither a member of Congress nor the holder of any public office. He's a lobbyist and a conservative activist named Grover Norquist, who over the years has gotten virtually every Republican congressman and senator to sign an oath called the Pledge. It's a promise that they will never, under any circumstances, vote to raise taxes on anyone. And so far, Grover Norquist has held them to it.
Now, they done signed the pledge. And now, you know, let me tell you something. Now, they done found out that the Rifle Association is hooked up with Russia. Y'all didn't forget that, did you? Let's see. Let's make sure we understand. I want everybody to see these things. So let's go to that. Make sure that everybody is on the same page here.
America's recurring nightmare returned this week. A former student armed with a semi-automatic rifle mowed down 17 people at a Florida high school. The latest of 1,600 mass shootings in the U.S. since Sandy Hook just over 5 years ago.
Now remember, I told you that no country, Russia or no China, none of those countries stand a chance of destroying America. So they try to get you to destroy yourself. You notice most of them are controlled by dictatorships. America is a working democracy, even though it's still a work in progress. But the more people study America, the less they want what they got. That's what's causing a lot of the problems in the dictatorial countries, is that people see something better in America, and the dictators just don't like that. So since they can't attack you and beat you, they go after them another way. First, you start a campaign to put them all against each other. Find their, you remember you'd be surprised who all involved in that. If you study how they did us, take their differences and make them bigger. Meaning, whatever you see them disagree about, make a bigger deal out of it than it really is and get them to turn on each other. Do you understand? The same thing that worked for slavery is now working inside of the borders of America to destroy the country from within. Now, remember now, whenever something is not right in America, to keep the people from having to rise up and try to have a revolution or something, they have a government that has three branches that are separate but equal, and they keep each other in check. You have a lawmaking body. So if there's something that ain't right, that the people that's causing dissatisfaction and disunity among the people, Congress makes a law or makes some laws that deal with that. Is that right? How come Congress ain't made no laws to deal with all these mass shootings? The pledge. And what happened with the pledge? Where's all of them millions of dollars? If they had $30-something million to put into the election, how many more millions do they have? And now holding it over all of them crooks in Congress' head. They done made them rich, you know, according to what they understand rich to be. Millionaires, that seemed to be a rich man. If he got $5 million or $10 million, he's a rich man as far as he's concerned. Huh? In foreign banks, gun heated. I'm pretty sure Mr. Mueller and them done found a lot of that stuff now. But anyway, but watch what they tell you about the NRA. Just keep listening. Once she get past these mass shootings.
And if that wasn't devastating enough, the predictability of what followed left anguished families powerless and angry. Congress offered thoughts and prayers, but no action. And at a rally yesterday, a teenage survivor of Wednesday's shooting called out Alice for not doing more.
They say that tougher gun laws do not decrease gun violence. We call BS. They say a good guy with a gun stops a bad guy with a gun. We call BS. They say guns make the tools like knives and are as dangerous as cars. We call BS.
You notice when young people are telling you that's a bunch of BS, they got you. Huh? Then why Congress ain't recognizing that that's what it is? Because they done got rich from the pledge and let themselves become puppets. You remember Grover said he's reducing the government down to the size that it can fit in the bathtub? Then when Putin take a bath, Congress taking a bath. Huh? Or when whoever that little group is in the jacuzzi, America's Congress, and now America's White House takes a bath when they take one. You better wake up. I told you I seen this stuff before. When WD got in there and like he even boasted about how he made a transition, didn't even have to change ministers. It just they was all in place. They thought they had won. Didn't know that they had already lost. They had already lost. The messenger did what he came to do. And when they found out that they thought he was gone and all of that kind of thing, well, he gone now. We can tear it up. But he produced the one that he was trying to produce. He told them this teaching is going to rise up a powerful son of truth. And he said, you at the setting of the sun. He knew they was about to tear up everything. But that son, that same school of thought is rising again, bringing us in a new day. I make all things what? You notice your understanding of who the original man and all of that stuff, I made all that new to you. Huh? Yeah, what you thought, it's just like they was calling the problem book, treating it like it was something really special. When all it was a mathematical problem book, a word problem book, teaching you math. And they took it even after the messenger told them when they was sitting around there arguing about the problem book, he hit the table and he said, when are you going to come up off of that baby level? They never did understand that the supreme wisdom is the Holy Scriptures. How you know it's supreme? None of you could understand it. It's over all y'all head. So it had to be from a superior mind to what this world has. Now I'm standing up here explaining it to you, and you still ain't figured out who I am? Well, why? Because I'm too down to earth, huh? Well, ain't that where you at? Ain't you on the earth? You said that you believe there's a supreme being. Well, if you believe that God is the supreme being, then why did you think that God would be something other than a being, a human being? Especially when you understand that God is the truth. and the one that the truth is with. Huh? Well, let's go a little further here. But anyway, let's get back to this NRA thing.
But are they listening on the Hill? Congress seems to make it easier, not harder, to get guns.
If someone's decided I'm going to commit this crime, they'll find a way to get the gun to do it.
You know, that's what drug dealers say. If I don't deal it, somebody else gonna give it to them. They gonna get it some kind of way. Isn't that right? Do you see how sick they done got? I bet you his bank account got about 7 figures in it too. Huh? All of them. Bunch of crooks, man. Just listen.
That's Senator Marco Rubio, just one of a long list of mostly Republican lawmakers who, according to the New York Times, have stuffed their political campaigns with millions of dollars from the National Rifle Association, or the NRA.
They didn't just stock their political campaigns with it. They stuck it in bank accounts. And all you have to do is follow the money. And I guarantee you, every one of them crooks is millionaires. In some secret account, at least some account they thought was secret. Didn't I tell you they need to round up every one of them that signed that Grover Norquist pledge? Here this man signing a pledge never to raise taxes for any reason. Are you aware that you remember when they was talking about the Affordable Care Act, that it was unconstitutional? And what was the judge who decided it? Who split? You know, it was 4 for and 4 against, and Judge Roberts, and he told them that no, this is just a tax, and Congress has the right to levy taxes, and this is just a tax. Even though it wasn't called a tax, that's what it was. I had told y'all that that's all it is a tax. That the American people was helping to support an affordable health care for each other. And that's all it was. And and he told them Congress has the power to levy taxes. So it's not unconstitutional. Matter of fact, Congress, that's part of their job description. Now, how do you become a member of Congress and take an oath to never raise taxes? And they've been getting money from the NRA. Now, look at all this. They got a list of the stuff that the ones that and what they've been getting. $4,418,012. Tom Tillis, Corey Gardner, $3,879,064. Now they got all these millions to run for a job that don't pay but $190,000 a year. What's that about? Putting America's government down to the size that it could fit in a bathtub. Just buy them all out. The first thing they had to do was put people in Congress to secretly and convince you. You know, when you want to pimp somebody, I've seen pimps tell women that they'll walk up to some stupid woman, and you got to be pretty stupid to go for it. But they walk up to her, look here, girl. What you getting for it? And she would say, what you mean? What I'm getting for it? You mean you giving it away? Why give it away when you can get paid for it? And if she that stupid, to let herself be duped into that, then he justifies what he's doing by saying anybody that's stupid, they deserve what they get. I'm just telling you now. That's how they think. They come up and tell you that there's something wrong with the president who thinks that health care should be available to all American citizens. Something wrong with that. So they start talking it down. Who is he that? He's trying to turn us into a socialist country. I think that's what they said about the WPA when they didn't holler too much about it, because President Roosevelt was a white man. And he's the one that had unemployment insurance so that depressions and stuff like that would never hit America again. Like that, to help stave off a depression. When people get out of work, then they have something, a safety net there, that unemployment insurance that was taken out of their check, taxes. So that when the time came, they could, if they ever needed it, it was there. Do you understand? Okay. Congress, it worked pretty normal then. At the same time, couldn't no one person or no one group put millions of dollars into a campaign for any senator or congressman, or House of Representatives. They just couldn't do it. It was against the law, and you had to know who was donating. Do you understand? But the NRA, they don't have to disclose where their money come from. Congress made that law for them. Playing chess? Remember they said they was playing chess? All right. They're going to find out that the American, the patriotic men and women of the FBI ain't playing at all. They take their jobs very seriously. As I was telling you, these people talking about investigating the FBI. Are you aware that the FBI is the ones that brief the president daily? Well, that means all of them that briefing him got to have top secret clearances themselves. And they tell him what's top secret. Now, I hear this fool sitting up there talking about he going to investigate them. So what, you forming another government inside of America? The FBI is the investigatory body. That's why they have to be screened so much. You don't just get to be in the FBI by being just because you want to be in there. They're going to know something about you, man. It's like people think that, you can just, any nation that call itself a nation has to be watchful of who they allow into their inner circle, into their inner workings. No leader get out there and tell everything that he got planned and what he gonna do for his people. He don't get out there and make that public to the world. And you sure don't tell it to people who can't keep their mouth shut on no telephone. Always got to boast about what they doing. Patriots are not patriots to be seen. They are patriots because their heart is with their nation. And they don't care if you never see them. You go messing with their nation, you find out. You'll see them then. Just keep on clowning. Anyway, now listen at them. She pulling the cover off. They pulling the cover off all of them, getting these millions of dollars. Marco Rubio, $3,303,355 from the NRA.
Great. The biggest recipient of all, Donald Trump. The NRA spent $30 million in support of Trump's campaign in 2016. And here he is at last year's NRA convention.
You came through for me.
Wasn't he the one that was running saying that he was self-funding his campaign? You know, it's funny how people, they think that someone who is full of vitriol and hatred for everybody that disagrees with them. You know, do you honestly think you're going to go? I done seen people get married and don't agree with everything that each other say and do. And divorce courts are proof of it. Huh? You got some lawyers that don't do nothing but what? Divorce cases. Is that right? If it ain't no money in it, if it ain't no whole lot of people getting divorces, how some lawyers specialize in divorcing. It's like undertakers. People dying so fast that people have jobs doing nothing but burying folks. And I ain't never seen a funeral home go out of business. If he go out of business, it's because he quit. Wasn't because it wasn't no business. There's people dying that ain't never died before. In numbers that have never been seen dying before. There's more people die in this country than the wars that they did. I'm just telling you. But now he got $30 million from the NRA. Now let's see. Let's follow the money.
And I am going to come through for you.
Yeah, this past week, Trump again came through for the gun lobby. He didn't even mention guns in the statement until it was left to a reporter to bring it up after he was done.
Thank you, and God bless you all. Thank you very much.
Donald Trump, you got a hell of a nerve be sitting up invoking God into your stuff. You know, you're gonna answer for that fake statement about wishing God to bless her. You know, if God blessed the American people, he'd get rid of all you crooks in the government. And I'm on amen and amen. Yes, may Allah bless the American people with people who care about them instead of these crooks that they got up there now. Man couldn't even fake a cry over the loss of those children's lives.
Happening to America? Will you do something about that?
Not a word. So the NRA has this stranglehold over Republican politicians and basically a veto over any meaningful gun control. And now it's emerging that the NRA may have been under the influence of Russia. According to McClatchy newspapers, the FBI is looking into whether the Kremlin used the NRA to illegally funnel cash to Donald Trump's campaign. The NRA's influence over GOP politicians and Russia's connections to the organization raise important questions about whether meaningful gun control can ever happen in the U.S. Joining me now to talk about all of this is Alan Grayson. He's a former Democratic congressman and running again in Florida, and he joins me from Orlando. So, Alan, you were in Congress when that horrible shooting happened at the Pulse nightclub. You fought for change after that, but here we are again. You've got families in anguish. You've got the kids saying, hey, adults, please, why aren't you doing something? Why aren't the adults in Congress doing something about guns?
Well, it's because the Republican Party is a wholly owned subsidiary of the NRA. And money is everything in American politics. The NRA was able to deploy $80 or $90 million to benefit Donald Trump and other Republican candidates in the last election. And they have veto power over who the Republican nominee is in virtually every election, from president down to dog catcher in the United States. That's an enormous amount of political power, and that means they have veto power over any effort to provide safety from guns.
I mean, give us a sense, you must see this, how much pressure can they actually put on? Do they tell people what to say?
They tell people what to vote. The NRA scores basically every legislator, federal and state, in the entire country, and their scores based upon how you vote. It's a fairly transparent process, but if you don't toe the line, you see your NRA score go from an A to an F, and for a Republican, that means that your career is over.
So I want to talk now, we're learning from McClatchy and other sites.
And the reason that it means that your career is over is because they have made the American people so dumb that they look at TV and believe everything that somebody come on there saying about somebody without hearing the other side. Huh? You know, when people, it's like what they did to Miss Clinton. They put jackets on her that were false outright, and if it wasn't false, it was only half truth. You know, it's just like that thing about super predators. That she didn't call nobody super predators. She said they have been called that. She didn't call them that. But what do you call it when a gang jump on one person? That one person ain't stood a chance. The Ku Klux Klan was super predators. Anytime you got a mob go after one or two people, they are super, and then people don't stand a chance to them. But, you know, people play with words on you because you have a weak mind. When you have a weak mind, that means you don't have much knowledge in your head and you're easily deceived. An unenlightened mind is like an unfurnished house. You can put whatever you want in there because ain't nothing in your way. And you can just go in there and furnish it with whatever you want. Empty, unfurnished house. Even if you got somebody home, if the house is empty, you still have to get past the person that's there and say, where you going with that? Huh? Somebody need to be at home. Why don't you give people the same courtesy and justice that you would like to be given? If someone says something about you, make them say it in front of you and then hear your side of it. Huh? Getting on them old one-way commercials and whatnot. So-and-so did this and so-and-so did that. Do you know they did it? Or did they just say they did it? They call Miss Clinton Crooked Hillary. He projected himself onto her and you bought it. Who's crooked? Did Miss Clinton ever try to undermine the Justice Department? The FBI? Even when the Director Comey came out and publicly talked about an investigation that they were doing with her, did she ever say anything negative about the FBI? You know why? It's called patriotism. And what did they find when it all came out? Which is what she knew they was going to find in the first place. Nothing. You know, but sometimes things work a certain way so that something else can happen. So I'm going to leave that alone. But I wanted you to see that the NRA been in cahoots with the Russian. That's one of their arms. And most people don't even know what they done joined. Why would you join something so big that you don't know who's at the head of it? You join something that's undermining the very freedoms and things that you claim you believe in and that you cherish. People buying your politicians.
That Russia may be involved with the NRA, that the FBI is now allegedly investigating whether Russia was engaged in money laundering through the NRA to help elect Donald Trump. When you heard about this investigation, what did you think? This sounds incredible.
The NRA is a very convenient money laundering operation for the Russians seeking to help the Trump campaign because under current law, as restricted and hogtied by the U.S. Supreme Court, their donors don't have to be disclosed.
And
so it's the perfect setup for the Russians.
There's this amazing character in the middle of all this, reading about this man. His name is Alexander Torshin. He's deputy director of the Russian Central Bank. It's kind of like the Bank of Canada, only it's run by Vladimir Putin. He is also reportedly wanted by Spanish authorities, almost as a mobster, that allegedly a godfather and money laundering schemes. And he's also a member of the NRA, and he attends all these fancy galas at the NRA. I mean, is this for real? Like, what on earth is going on there?
Well, what on earth?
It most certainly is for real. And you got people that, you know, you now you understand why. Let me tell you something. Why you think they took the Pledge of Allegiance, trying to say that some of the children don't need to say no Pledge of Allegiance, and they don't want you to have no patriotism for your country. That's the only way they can get you to. I mean, it's just like when they used to make us beat each other. And you remember in Django, that was an extreme, but they showed you to making them fight each other. Yeah, they don't want you to have no love for each other. You start having love for each other, you start wanting to look out for each other's back, watching each other's back. But if you can get somebody like Grover Norquist to come out there and call Democrats, people who vote democratically or whatever, they don't have to be Democrats. But if they vote against the Republican agenda, he called them competing parasites. You know, that's one of the first things in war that people, you know what they used to call the Vietnamese? Call them gooks. So that you would not see them as people. I mean, that's just warfare. That's what people do when they want you to fight somebody. You have to turn them into something that's not a human being. It makes it easier for you to want to kill them. Do you understand? So, you know, but the time for that kind of action, for human beings to do that to each other, that time is gone. My presence signals that that time for that is gone. Now, if you keep on doing that kind of work now, first thing gonna happen, you're gonna lose your mind. That's already happening. You see these people losing their minds now. You see? So, as the book says, whosoever doeth any work in the Sabbath day shall surely be put to death. The man that wanders out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. So now that we know that the NRA is behind, I mean that Russia is part of the NRA, why are these people still taking funding from them? They got something on every one of them. You know, when you take the money, what's the first rule in dealing with the devil? There you go. Once you start down that path, he gonna make sure he got something on you to make you shut your mouth when he start doing things that he won't done. And why Congress ain't doing nothing? Why they ain't doing nothing about all of the children being killed? Why they ain't doing nothing about the educational system of America falling apart? Because they cared more about money than they cared about America. And they went into that office making an agreement. They signed a pledge to do nothing. That's what they signed a pledge for. And to give rich people more of the taxpayers' money. Huh? And then that way some of that money get kicked back to them too. You see? Do you understand? Oh man, they think they got it going on. I wish I could get in one of them to come in here and call itself defending itself against what I say. But they won't do it.
What is going on is that Putin personally decided that the last thing he wanted in his life was Hillary Clinton as president of the United States. So he pressed every button and pulled every lever that he could find to prevent that from happening.
But what is the interest in guns? And wouldn't that be, it's illegal if it is foreign funds coming through Russia, through the NRA to Trump. So if it happened, what does that mean? What happens next?
Oh, what happens next is that they have to be tracked down and indicted, and hopefully there'll be more to come, because it is in fact illegal to have foreign money sloshing around in the United States for the benefit of a foreign power, to put the tools, the political tools of that foreign power in power here in the United States.
Could this end in the end of the NRA?
Well, that remains to be seen. I mean, the NRA as an organization has an inexhaustible supply of zealots who continue to want to perpetuate the system that we have in the United States.
So another massacre this past week. Do you see change? Do you see, like, people are angry? Do you see change coming?
For every step that we see that I might try to take in the right direction, we see the NRA pushing all the time to try to make it easier for people to get guns, whether they're good souls or bad.
So much to watch for here. Thank you very much, Alan Grayson. Thank you.
Thank you, too.
Alan Grayson joins us from Orlando, Florida. We should mention that a lawyer for the NRA told McClatchy News that following their report, we have not been contacted by the FBI about anything related to Russia.
All right. Now let's go back to them of what they was asking.
With him that even on issues where they have strong disagreements,
the way electricity. If you're in the northeast of America, you're on the same grid. And water to a lot of America. This is just a bad fight. Picking a fight with South Korea on trade. It's a bad fight right now because we kind of need South Korea. There is a correlation between those you trade with and those you don't fight with. And the president doesn't seem to have any regard for that. There's also this question of like congressional Republicans, are making noises that they're going to stand up to him on this. Or
when you got someone in the most powerful office that this world knows of that seems to not understand, then why doesn't it dawn on you that he's following somebody else's orders? I mean, if the Russia is what's left of what used to be the USSR, Union of the Soviet Socialist Republic, and it fell apart. Okay. So he's a used to be who wants to be again. Huh? But America in the way. So he get together and they done got together scheming and convinced some money hungry dogs to work with them. And they've been secretly putting people in the government of America and all of that kind of thing, making laws that will make it easy for them to buy politicians and whatnot. And that's why I'm waiting on them to go after that sycophant, Grover Norquist. Because, he didn't say where he's getting his funding from, but you can rest assured that if the NRA is part of it, and if the NRA is part of it, then he's in Russia's pocket too. Do you understand? Okay, now let's see here. I want to make sure that we get this right. Well, give me a minute.
The Speaker of the House, the Senate Minority Leader, and all 6 Republican members of the Joint Committee on Deficit Reduction. A lot of people think you're the most powerful man in Washington.
The tax issue is the most powerful issue in American politics going back to the Tea Party. People say, oh, Grover Norquist has power. No, Grover Norquist and Americans for Tax Reform focus on the tax issue. The tax issue is a powerful issue.
See, when you get into an arena with a man like him, you got to know what questions to ask him. Just like you ask him, well, what is the purpose of taxes, Mr. Norquist? Just ask him. I mean, they try to make it look like taxes is a bad word. They done turn taxes into a bad word. Yet, when you ride up and down the highway, that's tax money you riding on. When you pick up and down 911 and the police show up, that's tax money. That's paying for that. When you, even the internet, wouldn't have been no internet if there hadn't been no tax money to support the research for it. Let's see. The Army, the Navy, Air Force, Marines, tax money. Huh? A lot of the social programs that protect the poor in America, people who don't have jobs or lost their jobs, taxes took care of that. You go to the emergency room in the county hospitals and things, tax money. So it's a lot of things that you understand and don't mind paying for. I'll tell you what, when the last time you seen people go to the market and get indignant about the tax that's added to their bill? And have we ever really been told how much taxes are collected every day by that way? We're taxed at the gas pump and whatnot, but we see the results of those taxes being spent on things that are necessary for the well-being of the country. So you ask a man like Grover Norquist, well, what's your objection to taxes, man? If it is tax, if the benefit of it can be seen, then is it not well worth it? But that's just an issue that they made an issue to get people on board with a lie as though they're being overtaxed and whatnot. Remember, that's how America got started, taxation without representation. But you have representation. At least you had until Russia bought it out. You let people go up there and put laws in there. You remember when Mr. Abramoff was saying that he had congressmen, they were just signing stuff. They didn't even know what they were signing. They were just putting it on the floor. Here, take this out there. And they put it in law and didn't know what they had put in law. Some of them went to jail, but what they put in law didn't get taken back, which it should have been taken back. And that's how you got people now can put as much money as they want in the elections. And you don't even have to know where the money coming from. And so now you're going to have to get rid of all these crooks in Congress. Everybody, you can start by just getting it, rounding everybody up whose name is on that pledge and just getting them out of there. Just tell them you through here. You through here. And you ought to make them take that money that they got in them bank accounts where they sold their country out. Take that from them. You ain't got to put them in jail, but take that money from them and give it to law enforcement and give it to things that go to for the American people. And that can be their punishment. So, and don't never let them run for office anymore.
Norquist is trying to be modest. Since creating Americans for Tax Reform at Ronald Reagan's behest back in 1985, Norquist has been responsible more than anyone else for rewriting the dogma of the Republican Party.
The Republicans won't raise your taxes. We haven't had a Republican vote for a income tax increase since 1990.
And this was your doing.
I helped. Yeah.
It began with a simple idea of getting Republicans all over the country to sign an oath called the Taxpayer Protection Pledge, promising their constituents that they would never, ever vote for anything that would make their taxes go up.
Speaker Gingrich's tax pledge back.
Now that's your smoking gun. That's your reason for putting them out. Because they never had no business signing a pledge like that when they pledged their allegiance to America and the Constitution. The Constitution's preamble starts off, says, "We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, promote domestic tranquility, and it also to provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare." That's what taxes is designed for. That's what Congress is supposed to do. If you raise taxes and explain it to the American people, you don't just raise them. You explain to the American people what you need. to help them. And let the American people decide whether or not they want it. If it's something that the American people needs, then convince them that they need it with truth. And if you've educated the people like you should, if you keep the educational system doing its job, which is to enlighten the mind, then an enlightened mind is not hard to convince of things that are right. Anyway, everybody that signed that pledge, just listen to him now.
In 1998.
And once they sign the pledge, Grover Norquist never forgets. The more signatures he's collected, the more his influence has grown.
I think to win a Republican primary, it is difficult to imagine somebody winning a primary without taking the pledge.
The signatories not only include more than 270 members of Congress, but all of...
Why does he say it's difficult for them to win without taking the pledge? Because he's going to get out there and lie on them. Going to get out there and say, these people just want to raise your taxes. These people want to do the job that Congress, that's part of their job description. That when necessary, if it is for the best interest of the country, yes, it will raise your taxes. But at the same time, people like him can do what they do because nobody says anything. Nobody rebuts him. You know, I'm going to tell you something else about people that's supposed to be so wealthy. A lot of them are just wealthy on paper. Because most crooks, when they get money fast, they spend it just as fast. And they're not liquid at all. Their assets, most of them are not liquid. They're tied up in things, you know, properties and all of that kind of thing. There's like this, that what they call it, the albatross, that building that Jared Kushner and them got there in New York and losing money on it. But the fact of the matter is, I ain't seen a hustler yet that didn't spend it as fast as he made it. You know why? Because he didn't work for it, and so he didn't value it. Oh, it's more where that came from. That's what they always say. It's more where that came from. And then when it started drying up, then he starts getting desperate. And that's when he starts doing things that make you see what he's been doing all the time. Do you understand? Bunch of crooks. You see? So, I want you to, well, it's late. So I tell you what, if it pleases Allah, we'll take this up with you Friday. And but don't jump on board just because you see a bunch of people hollering and screaming for something. Look into it before you add your voice. Because you may discover that what you are adding your voice to is unjust. Do you understand? Yeah, that man said he wanted to put your government in a bathtub, and he done just about did it. He done reduced it to the size where 2 or 3 men is dictating to your Congress. And they don't pay no attention to what you say. Because not only have them people bought them, they got records of what they done had them doing and whatnot. So they better not say nothing, Otherwise, they know they'd be sitting up in jail. So rather than put them in jail for being stupid, just take what they had and tell them to go, you go back out there in the public. Go on about your business. You know, but you never get in government again. We are going to put you in jail. Let that be their punishment. And don't quit watching them either. But anyway, I'm going to let you go. May Allah bless us all and keep us safe and in our right minds. May Allah's Assalamu alaikum.
This session is your recording has stopped.